Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share with you the actual pricing for $15,000 of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 69-year-old female. Now, first thing I recommend you take advantage of is the free quoters on our website at funeralfunds.com. These are on just about every page, and all you need to do is select the state that you live in, and we are licensed in all 50 states. Select the coverage amount, put your birthday in there, fill out the rest of the info, click Get Quotes Now. It will take you to a page that's going to show you the best insurance companies with the lowest pricing based off your age, gender, and the state that you are living. You definitely should take advantage of that. It will help you immensely in your price shopping journey. You can also call us directly at 888-862-9456. One of our licensed agents can help you with anything you need to know there, including pricing. Now, one of the first things we always recommend for a 69-year-old female looking at $15,000 worth of insurance is just asking herself, is $15,000 going to be appropriate for her final expense, cremation, or burial needs? Now, typically that's going to involve either cremation or burial. So let's kind of cover those. Let's talk about cremation first. There's two options. The first option is where you just get cremated and you come home in a cardboard box or an urn. Typically, that's going to cost somewhere between $1,000 to $2,000. If you're going to have a ceremony, maybe a celebration of life or remembrance ceremony, and in addition to the cremation, that's typically going to run $3,500 to $4,500, just depending on the part of the country that you're living in. But that's going to get you close. Now, as far as coverage, what you need, it's different for both of those options as well. So if you're going to come home in that cardboard box or an urn, very simple. Typically, we'd recommend maybe right around, and help people, that's generally what we help people with, is right around $5,000 to $7,000. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, Randy, you said cremation was $2,000, and we're looking at $5,000 insurance. What's going on there? Well, the reason is our 69-year-old female probably wants to live to 79, maybe even 89. And we know that prices go up due to inflation and things get more expensive, including anything that has to do with our final expenses. So what we're doing is getting a little more insurance than what we need right now. We're locking in our lowest rate at our youngest age right now. And what it does is it inflation-proofs your plan so that your family won't have to come up with money later if you are blessed to live a long time. What it also does, though, secondarily, is it protects in the short term because you have a little more insurance than you need at the very beginning. And God forbid, if you did die sooner than you thought, there's some extra money there to take care of some other final expenses, maybe medical bills, or credit card bills or something like that, that if you'd been given the gift of time, you would have lived longer and you would have paid that off. So it protects long-term due to inflation, short-term, just in case there's any other final expense needs that need to be paid. Now, if you're going to do that cremation and the ceremony, we would generally be helping people with $7,000 to $10,000. Same thing, inflation-proofing it for the long-term, providing some extra funds in the short-term just to help things out. So that works out pretty terrifically for most folks. Now, if you're looking at a burial, the average cost of a burial right now in the United States is right around $10,000. If you walk into pretty much any funeral home in the United States, they should be able to help you out for $10,000. And if they don't, you can just walk out the door and walk down the street to one of their competitors, and I'm sure they will take that money. Just understand, $10,000 is going to be a very simple, very basic funeral, and it's not inflation-proofed at all. But if you're on a fixed or limited income and that's all you can afford, get that right now because that takes care of your most immediate need, and you can always add more coverage later. We help people add coverage later all the time. Now, what most people would do, though, if you're a 69-year-old female, typically they're going to be looking at the $10,000 to $15,000 to $15,000 range. And sometimes if they have more elaborate plans, up to $20,000. But we typically don't recommend more than that unless you just have some really elaborate plans. But again, if you need to, you can start smaller. We can always help you add more coverage later. Now, sometimes somebody will come in and say, hey, we need to take care of our final expenses, but we'd like to leave some money behind for the kids too. And they'll say, what's $30,000, $40,000, $50,000? So for example, we'll quote them $50,000 and they're like, it's really more than we can afford because they're on Social Security or disability. And then what they may say is, well, if we can't do the whole thing, we're not going to do anything at all. And we have to have a conversation with them saying, hey, look, you came in here because you wanted to take care of your final expenses for sure, because we know you're going to die. There's no debate that. Your kids are going to need that money. If you say, if I can't do everything, I'm not going to do anything, you've just sentenced them to paying for your final expenses, probably at a time when they can least afford those expenses. And in most cases, they're going to have to put that on credit cards and pay it off at 26% interest. So here's what we recommend. We recommend you get the final expense policy first for burial, cremation, whatever you want. And then what we can do is look at coming back at a later time and getting a separate policy for the kids. And that option works really great for so many people. Now, if money's not as much of a concern, we can certainly help you do that all at once. But most of the people we help, they are on a fixed or limited income. So that is a concern. Now, one thing we always recommend is getting first day coverage or benefits. We never recommend getting a 2-year waiting period plan. We'll go into that in a moment. But what that first day coverage means is that hypothetically, if your plan were issued and approved today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would have to write out that check for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, whatever the coverage amount is. That's going to be the best coverage at the lowest pricing. Now, some people will say, well, you're right, Randy, we do want that first day coverage, but we've got some health issues and I'm not sure we'll qualify because, I know those first day coverage plans ask health questions. To which we always say, hey, that's our concern, not your concern, at least from a insurance standpoint and funeral and cremation standpoint. And what we mean by that is we work with a whole bunch of different insurance companies. They all ask different health questions. They all have different underwriting. And right now, we're getting about 90 to 95% of the people we help we're able to qualify for first day coverage. And really, the only reason we wouldn't be able to qualify you for first day coverage is if you waited too long and you had some really significant health issues going on, like maybe you had a terminal illness and you're going to pass away in the next 12 months. Maybe you had dementia, or you're on dialysis or in a hospital or in a nursing home. If that were the case, we would typically refer you out to a different insurance company. What also happens on a weekly basis, it seems, is somebody will call us up and say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week. They didn't have insurance. We don't have the money. Their body's down at the funeral home. Funeral home director's not going to do anything till he gets a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance right away so we can get a check in our hand to pay the funeral home director. And we have to let them know that, unfortunately, there's no insurance company in the United States that's going to approve a policy on a plan on somebody who's already dead. You have to get this insurance while you're alive. And it's really sad that their family member passed away unexpectedly. It's doubly sad that they didn't care enough to get this insurance in place to protect their loved ones. And they knew they were going to die someday. They just didn't know when, and they just put it off. They probably looked at this before, and they put it off. And then one day they just went and died. And now their family members are going to have to pay for this. And chances are they're going to have to put it on their credit cards, pay 26% interest, and it's going to take them years and years to pay off. What a terrible legacy to leave behind. You could have done everything else right in life, and you messed up this one last thing, and that's how you'd be remembered. So don't do that. Don't leave that burden behind for others to pay. This insurance is affordable. If you need to, just start smaller. We can always help you add more coverage later. Now, one thing we don't recommend is those plans with 2-year waiting periods. And Colonial Penn's kind of a fairly well-known company. I think it's just because they advertise all on the TV all the time. And that $9.95 plan commercials pretty much on every 7 minutes on the television, it seems. But if you didn't know this, that $9.95 plan, that's a 2-year waiting period. Ooh, chimama, you do not want that. You do not want 2-year waiting period plans if you qualify for first day coverage. You will overpay so much, you will not like that mistake at all. But, Colonial Penn's not the only one that offers those 2-year waiting period plans. There's other companies out there too, like Mutual of Omaha, their United of Omaha line, AIG, Gerber. Gosh, so many other different insurance companies out there. And some of these insurance companies have done an amazing job at convincing the American public that if you're over age 50, the only thing you're going to qualify for is a plan with a 2-year waiting period, to which we always say, don't fall for such nonsense, because we help people with first day coverage all day long. Now, our female age 69 probably just got done watching one of those Colonial Penn commercials. She's probably thinking, oh my gosh, that was so well produced. I'm so hopeful. At age 69, I can probably get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe even $50,000 for $9.95. And then she gets on the telephone and talks with the Colonial Penn agent, or goes on their website like we've done for you here, and sees that for a 69-year-old female, 1 unit of coverage, which is $9.95, is only going to pay out $1,057. Now, there might be a few remote places in the United States where you can get a cremation for $1,057. But man, they are going to be extremely rare, few and far in between. And even if it was enough, this policy is not going to pay out in the next 2 years if you die of a health or medical reason. So why would you ever get a plan that's marginal at best for even the most basic cremation, and it's got a 2-year waiting period that's not even going to come close to paying for a cremation with a ceremony, and it's not even in the ballpark for a burial? Why would you ever do that? Maybe because it was just such a nice commercial? Now, there's some people that would say, you know, the companies that offer these really low teaser rates, right? They're meant to get your attention and get your information so that when you send your information in, you now go into their marketing system, and then they'll get you on the phone and they'll gladly show you that $9.95. But some people would say these companies don't even want to sell that lowest price plan. They don't want to sell the $9.95, and they'll gladly show you that and then show you how minuscule, how measly that coverage is for $1,057. And then what they'll do is they'll try upselling you to more substantial amounts, which are much more profitable to the insurance company. Now, we would never say Colonial Penn would do anything like that, but some people seem to be fairly convinced of that. And I guess you may want to make that judgment on your own just by kind of understanding that $9.95 is only going to get you $1,057. So let's do this, because this video is about $15,000. Let's take a look. The thing with Colonial Penn is they max out at 15 units. So what you're going to end up with is $15,855, because if we do 14 units, it's not even 15,000. So we're going to have to go up to 15 units. 15,855. That's going to be roughly $150, right? $149.25. Just round up, $150. So let's do this. Let's go see what first day coverage would be with a first day coverage company. So we've got 15,000 here. We've got a female, age 69, and here we go. We're going to click Get Quote, and we're going to come back here again. This is roughly 15,000 for $150. And I want to show you this because this is pretty impressive. So this is 15,000. First day coverage is going to be $72.85. We can help you with these companies. This is level coverage. Level means first day coverage. That's exactly what you want. If you take a look at this, $72.85 versus $149. Colonial Penn is right around $76 more a month. And they're going to sock you with a 2-year waiting period. Let me ask you this. Why would you ever overpay an insurance company $76 a month? And keep in mind, they're going to make you overpay that $76 every single month for the rest of your life. If we take that $76 a month and multiply it times 12 months, 1 year, you're going to end up overpaying $912 a year. So if our 69-year-old female lives to be age 79, lives 10 years, during that period of time, you'll have overpaid roughly $9,120. Why on earth overpay? Why would you overpay $9,120 when you could get first day coverage and save that much money? That's on a $15,000 policy after only 10 years. The longer time goes on, the worse that equation gets. Why would you ever do that? Here's the deal. We believe that your bank account is going to benefit more by keeping $9,120 roughly in your bank account rather than giving $9,120 roughly to put in an insurance company's bank account. Don't do that. Don't do that. You can, imagine the fun that you could have with your family and your loved ones and your spouse for $9,000, right? So yeah, you just need to be a smart, educated consumer. If you're not, that's understandable. Insurance can be confusing, but we can help you be that smart, educated shopper. So let us help you save you money and find out who's going to be the best and who you can get qualified through. Let's look at some other companies here. Well, even Lumico here, they're like $5 more a month and it's level coverage. You think, well, $5 is not that much. 5 times 12 months is $60 a year. And after 10 years, you're going to overpay $600. Same coverage, same everything, exact same thing. Would you ever be walking down the sidewalk and pull out your wallet and just throw $600 on the sidewalk and keep walking and let others pick it up? No, you wouldn't. Why would you do the same thing with an insurance company? Keep that money in your wallet. Let's take a look here. And let's find something else here. You'll be able to see all these different insurance companies, by the way. Oh, here's one. Lincoln Heritage. A fine company, I guess. But look at that pricing. $108. Yikes. It is level coverage, but the pricing's so expensive. Why is that, though? Well, they got a deal where when you pass away, they will supposedly call 2 or 3 different funeral homes to get the best pricing. Maybe do a couple other things, too. But they charge for that. They don't do that for free. They're going to charge for that. And you're going to overpay on that every single month for the rest of your life. So that's $108 versus 73. We'll round up here. With Lincoln Heritage, you're going to overpay right around $35 a month more. And they're going to overcharge that $35 a month for the rest of your life. So let's do some math on that. $35 a month times 12 months, you'd overpay $420 a year. And if our 69-year-old female lived to age 79, you would overpay roughly $4,200 more. And that's if it's just 10 years. The longer you live, the worse that mathematics get there. But yeah, so you got to ask yourself, is it worth overpaying an insurance company roughly $4,200 to make 2 or 3 phone calls and do a couple other things that may only take an hour or so to do? We recommend you keep that money in your own bank account rather than put that money in an insurance company's bank account. We recommend you let us help you get approved for a lower price plan. And then what we also provide is a free funeral and estate planning guide. You can download that for free off of our website. Once you download that, print it out. Once it's printed out, fill it out. Write down who gets what goes where, and what you want done after you're gone. And then when you're done with that, keep it with your insurance policy. And that way, when you pass away, your family members will be able to go to that one place and they'll know that they're not only protected financially with the insurance policy, but protected emotionally with the funeral and estate planning guide. Because all they'll need to do is open that funeral and estate planning guide and start reading, and they'll know exactly what to do once you're gone. And they'll have the money to do it with the insurance policy. And they'll know that you not only loved and protected them in life, but you actually loved and protected them in death. That one last time when they would need you the most and you're not around, but you took care of this in advance. What a wonderful gift of love. What a wonderful legacy to leave behind. If you want to leave a legacy like that behind, just reach out to us at funeralfunds.com. A special quote for our YouTube viewers, funeralfunds.com/YouTube. You can find the best companies with the lowest rates and the most discounts. Take full advantage of that. You may as well be an educated consumer, and then we can help you dial things in once you've seen the numbers. And then you can also call us at 888-862-9456. One of our licensed agents can help you out. You know, if you've got an existing policy and you want us to price shop it to make sure you got the lowest pricing, or you want to add coverage to it, we can help you out with that. If you are looking for a brand new policy or just want help understanding what might be appropriate for you, we can help you out with that. But we look forward to helping you qualify for the most amount of insurance for the least amount of money. We will be blessed to help you with this at some point in the future. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.